So, welcome to the DIY Toycast. I'm Gordon here with my co-host Brett, and tonight we have our special guest, Cool Cat Toy Co. Grant. Thanks for joining us.
What's up, everybody? Good to be here.
And so, Grant, Brett and I have been following your work. I feel like since pretty early on when you started out, like the first piece I remember getting from you was at one of the early Toy Pizza Cons. This
Oh yeah.
um, Anchor Fist that is a Swamp Thing homage to
Yes.
what's the dude's name?
Uh, there's, it's not Grassman, is it? No.
No, Weed Killer.
Weed Killer, Weed Killer, Weed Killer.
Yeah, yeah. Which you wouldn't know unless you knew the particular like color scheme. So you
Yes.
did a very clever job of like totally works as its own original character. And like this is, I feel like this is your sort of signature guy, right?
Anchor Fist?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my wish fulfillment mascot type character.
Though not your first mascot, because you did that like the actual Cool Cat, right? Was like one of your earliest
Yeah,
racing
well,
pieces.
yeah, that's like my name mascot, Cool Cat. But as far as like a character mascot that I feel like is sort of the epitome of my character design and interests, Anchor Fist is definitely that for me. And he's the earliest. He's one of the first sculpts I did when I was doing like the little Keshis and everything. So
Right.
he's been around for a while,
And
and I
you're
got a
actually,
tattoo of
oh,
him. So
nice.
Oh
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, it's permanent now. You're locked
yeah,
in.
that's permanent.
And so, like, kind of getting into how you made your way to actually, making your own resin toys and stuff. Going way back, like, were you drawing a bunch as a kid or were you sculpting too? What was like the kind of early art stuff that you were doing even pre-toy making?
Well, I wasn't really an artistic kid, and I mean, I drew every now and then. I drew when I was like bored. I was homeschooled, believe it or not. I know a lot of that checks out for me. But yeah, my mom was my teacher, and she sort of cultivated our subjects around our interests and stuff like that because there were certain things that my sister and I just did not care or were not grasping. So it was the good part about homeschooling was that we could focus in more on our interests and um everything. But yeah, I grew up with Lego,
Okay.
as we all did. And that was a big creative outlet for me growing
Mhm.
up because my first time being in an online community was around the Lego scene early
Oh
on.
hell yeah. What's
Yeah,
so what's your go-to theme? What's Grant's favorite theme?
believe it or not, back when I was doing, I don't know if you remember mock pages or
Oh. Oh
Flickr
yeah.
or anything like that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
was
buddy.
Yep.
I was on there like 2009, 2010.
The good days of
Um,
social media.
yeah. Um, and of course, Star Wars was my first love in anything. That's really what kicked off my nerddom. Um, those are some of the very first sets I remember getting. But as far as what I built, when I was a tween, it was World War II
Oh,
models and stuff like that out of Lego.
because you're a
And
history buff somewhat, right? Like that's an
uh,
area that you do get
I've always
into.
been interested in history, but I'm not sure I'm qualified to call myself a buff because I'm terrible with dates. I know general areas, and because I played a lot of Call of Duty as a kid, I can name like weapons and everything. I would go to museums with my dad and just blow his mind because I would be like far away from something and be like, "Oh, that's a DP-28 or that's PPSH," and my dad would go up to the glass and be like, "Oh my God, he's right." And so how do you know this? And I was like, Call of Duty, everything like that. But yeah,
Yep.
I have both my grandfathers fought. Well, my one on my mom's side, he enlisted
Mhm.
technically after World War II had ended, but he was in the Air Force. But my on my dad's side, um, my grandfather fought in the Pacific Theater, and I heard those stories growing up.
Mhm.
So that's one of the things that really kicked off my interest in that. But yeah, I still have some of my models in boxes somewhere, but I really focused on the Pacific stuff. Like I said, there was certain guys in the scene that were really sticklers for accuracy. They weren't the nicest about, scale and everything, and I would get dates wrong.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But
actually, that version of Panzer didn't come out until after 43, but nice
yeah,
try,
yeah, yeah,
pleb.
exactly, exactly. Or this
I mean, at least
Sherman's
they're being
not the right.
sticklers about actual historical stuff as opposed to like Star Wars stuff, which
Yeah. Yeah, Vader's
But
got
yeah,
the wrong belt in that mock, you loser.
yeah, exactly. Like it got a little awkward there. A lot of the guys in that scene kind of became some interesting folks, I will say,
Mhm.
um,
Yeah.
to say the least. But yeah, I sort of got out of that. I still have all the admiration and appreciation for Lego,
Mhm.
but it's not something I really uh, do that much or partake in anymore. Not mainly because of space.
Mhm.
I know I just got that Mega Bloks Red Rocket set from Fallout, um, but that was a must-have.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I knew they were never going to do anything like that again, but I still have some of my Star Wars mocks and sets and stuff. But yeah, just dusting, you know, space pricing for Lego nowadays is
Mhm.
insanity.
Bro, it's
So
crazy. It's been
yeah.
cheaper for me to rebuy vintage than it is to go buy new. It's new stuff is so expensive.
Yeah, totally. It's I used to keep up with everything that was coming out and be really up to date on stuff, but since I've sort of faded out on that, it's very interesting for me to walk in like Target's Lego section now because I'm like I didn't even know they had that license, That's
Mhm.
that's sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where my creative tendencies really started to flourish because that's the first time I went to an actual convention for anything like that. I went to
Okay.
Brick Fair, Virginia,
Oh,
Cool.
right
uh,
on.
like in Chantilly, I think.
Mhm.
So we went to the Aerospace Museum there. Saw
Nice.
a bunch of cool stuff. They filmed Transformers 2 there, I think.
Okay.
Anyway,
Cool.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
big dog dropping the trivia thing.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was a good time. Looking back on it, I was a very awkward kid, and people were very, I should say more awkward than I am now, but people were very nice for the most part. But yeah, it's weird thinking back on it. I don't know if you know like Brick Arms and Brick
Oh yeah.
Mania. I met those guys multiple times and talked to them, and it's sort of weird seeing it from the outside now. It's like, I
Mhm.
used to be around those people. Citizen Brick, I met them multiple times as well, and they were really nice. And yeah, it just seems like a past life.
So
Um,
that does kind of like dovetail with how did you stumble in on like the Glyos scene and then I guess what did you find out about Glyos and like Toy Pizza before you looked at like resin casting stuff
oh, yes.
or was that about the same time?
Yep. It all has to do with YouTube.
Okay.
When I was a tween, um, I really that was it still is. I watch a lot of YouTube, more than I do anything else.
Hmm.
So as far as like collecting, that started. I used to watch this guy named Glenn Webb,
Okay.
and he was over in the UK, I think.
Hmm.
But I just really liked his energy and everything, and he got me really interested in Marvel, like X-Men and everything.
Hmm.
And one one day randomly got the news that he passed away, and I that was the first time I had watched somebody for so long, and I had felt and sadness for somebody I'd never met.
Yeah.
Um, but that's one of the first people I remember watching and really getting into sort of like, oh, Marvel Legends and X-Men and everything, and then started watching Toy Galaxy.
Okay.
Um, and then came I remember Toy Galaxy and Toy Pizza came along around the same time.
Hmm.
Maybe I found Toy Pizza through that one video that Dan did for them, sort of like the crossover with
Hmm.
I can't exactly remember. I can't remember if Toy Pizza came first or Toy Galaxy in my watching. But I think Toy Pizza maybe did. But yeah, just I used to watch the old videos of Jesse, Nikki, and Cade, and that got me interested in really peculiar toys and Japanese toys. Their whole Japan series got me
Hmm.
really like enamored with Japan.
Yeah, I
So
mean, looking behind you, a lot of the stuff that I see, like I'm the Star Wars stuff obviously is connected to what you grew up with, but like the
yeah,
entire like other side to I guess your left looks like is that stuff that you kind of found out through the various collector videos?
I mean, I had the odd Transformer growing up, but yeah, after watching Toy Galaxy and Toy Pizza, I got my collecting journey really started with Battle Beasts. I
Oh,
got
nice.
that
Oh
that
man.
came that really came from Toy Galaxy from his videos, and
Mhm.
then Pixel Dan his videos about it, and I really got into the history behind vintage toys. And I still haven't completed um my Battle Beast set, and I'm not sure if I will because I just got so heavy into it, and I was buying stuff offline. And then I think me buying stuff offline sort of made me lose a little bit of interest in it because the thrill of the hunt wasn't there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's Battle Beast, specifically the little Octillion octopus. I found him at a flea market with his rub and everything in the town over from me, and that really started it off for me
Hmm.
as far as it just because I picked it out of the box and I knew what it was, and I got it for like $1 maybe,
That's the
and
best.
I was
Like,
like,
yeah.
yeah,
Unbelievable.
yeah,
Unreal.
yeah, and so I have a connection to that specific Battle Beast.
Hmm.
It's right off camera, but yeah, this dude right
Yeah.
here,
Oh hell yeah.
that was the
Awesome.
first.
Strong
And
That's
hit.
I
Great
started going
colorway.
to I started going to some toy shows in Raleigh and everything. After that, that's 2019
okay.
is when I first met Toy Galaxy, Dan
Hmm.
Larson and Mrs. Toy Galaxy. So that's how long I've known them, and it doesn't seem like it's been that long, but yeah, I mean, watching Jesse and everything, and Nikki, and I just liked their energy, their sort of chaotic energy at times.
Yep.
I remember seeing the Kickstarter video for Knights of the Slice and the Classic Night,
Hmm.
and even was it Myers that the Knights of the Slice were in?
Oh man. Was it
Hastings.
Hastings?
Hastings.
Hastings. Good
Hastings,
Yes.
call.
Hastings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing the videos for that, and I just like Transformers. I had the odd Power Ranger figure growing up, especially like Dino Charge, Dino Force, something like that. That was
Mhm.
around when I was a kid. But I remember seeing the sort of tokusatsu figure that Jesse was introducing. I was like, that's really cool. But I didn't buy. I didn't get in on the Kickstarter. I didn't. I don't remember why, but I think there was a period there where I stopped watching them for some reason. And then I remembered that they were doing all this stuff with their own action figures that were interchangeable, and I was like, yeah, I need to check them out again. And then I think I joined the Facebook group.
Okay.
Um, I think my first ever night was Vice Night Vector Jump.
Oh
Okay.
man.
So that's how long that's how long I've been in it. And then my second one was Britain Night,
Okay.
which was the classic night. So yeah, that was my first exposure to Glyos.
Hmm.
It was a couple years after that where I got interested in making my own stuff, and again went to YouTube
Hmm.
and found the Craftsman, found uh some of the earliest videos I remember seeing were from Adam Savage,
Okay.
from Mythbusters.
Yeah.
Tested. They have videos where they like recasted the Luke Skywalker lightsaber hilt from Return of the Jedi.
Hmm.
And they did like a cowboy figurine, I think. Maybe that was a different YouTube channel, but yeah, I just remember watching these videos over and over again. I wasn't really retaining the knowledge, but I was like, this is something I can do. But I need to
Hmm.
watch it over and over again. And yeah, Craftsman is probably the biggest influence on my making and has taught me the most. So to know him now and to have talking to him over direct message has been a big deal for me. But yeah, that's where it all started, and that was around mid 2019
Okay.
because
So
I was
pre-pandemic still.
pre-pandemic. Yeah,
Damn.
I don't really count it when people ask me because I was really just experimenting and wasting money because I had a barista job
I mean,
and
I think that's important for people to know. It's like that's a big
yeah.
part of the maker experience. It's you you got to pour a lot of money into the pit before
Hmm.
anything comes out.
Yeah.
No,
And so
no,
that's
not
why
me, buddy. Not me. No, I bought filament. I bought resin for the printer. Printing money. No, it's free.
Well, yeah, it is important, and when people tell me that they want to make their own action figures, I don't try to discourage them at all from doing it, but I do let them know like there's a trial period, you know.
yeah.
There was times where I almost quit because I was in the red more than I
Hmm.
am now, but like uh where I just was wasting resin,
Hmm.
just one after the other. And I mean, what I was getting was from Hobby Lobby and stuff like that. So it wasn't really for action figures, you know.
Right.
Hmm.
It was the faster setting stuff or the super slow stuff.
Hmm.
So what I tell people is it depends on your material. You
Hmm.
know, you can cheaping out on it doesn't always work, and sometimes the best, most expensive material won't work for you. But yeah, there was a most of 2019 I was experimenting with it. Because I remember I made my first mold. I did one of my first releases was a little classic night Keshi
Okay.
Yeah,
style figure
yeah.
on the Facebook group a long time ago. I think that was maybe 2019. Yeah, somewhere around there. Jesse allowed me to do it. And that was my first time actually getting money for something I made. And shout out to those people that bought one because it is not aged well.
No, but
But
that's like your true believers, and like,
yeah,
you'll always think of them. Like it feels good to finally make that first sale.
yeah, totally. But yeah, just I tell people it's a trial and error type deal. But yeah, 2020 is, pandemic kicked off. That was my first year going to Assembly Required in Asheville, so I got to
Oh.
see a lot of the non Knights to Slice toy scene,
Hmm.
more the bootlegger scene, in person. I met a lot of those people that are still my friends to this day, that year. And it's crazy how none of us knew, obviously, what was about to kick off and that it was going to be like 2 or 3 years before we would see each other again. But yeah, that was my first in-person time going to a show. I didn't display, but it was just me sort of feeling it out.
Hmm.
And yeah, 2020 after, my coffee shop I was working at closed down. Um the stimulus money really helped me, to be real.
Hmm.
I bought a lot of my test material that I was working with. I bought my first pressure pot with it, my compressor, um, everything that I use now. I bought with a lot of my stimulus money, and it came along at a perfect time, so I could have a little bit of disposable income
Hmm.
uh, to be able to test things out. And yeah, that's where it all sort of really started kicking off. Then fast forward to 2022, that was my first year doing a similar required in person
Okay.
display. And also Toy Pizza Con. I think it was 22. That was the first time going.
You
I
definitely were
think.
there because like I remember going to that one. I don't
Yeah.
remember if that was the first one that you had displayed at or that was the show after. Because like I actually have here on my desk most of the stuff I got from you, and I pretty much always just pick up whatever your latest thing is
Mhm.
at Toy Pizza Con. So like I remember this is the first figure that I got from you. Then I think the next year it was Mustang,
Oh
which was
yeah, yeah. So it
um
was 2022. Yeah.
and
So,
then I can't remember. Then I can't I think I may have either traded or bought this online from you.
yeah,
So
that was 24. Yeah. Yeah.
right, because I think I'm missing Bushikoi is like because it's pretty much
Oh
every year you have a like entirely new character, right?
yeah. Yeah. This year, as y'all know, it's been very shell shock heavy. It's just it's a aesthetic and a character that I like, sort of trying different themes with.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
and
he's beautiful, man. I love the stuff you've been doing with him.
Yeah, and
He's
I
just
love that it's not just another dude that's
yeah,
like
it's
5 PO.
yeah, it feels
and
like a little play set. You know, I love the
Right.
little pilots with him, like the tank crew. It's so good,
Those
man.
little guys.
thank
Oh,
you.
they're so good.
Yeah.
I really loved that undead graveyard drop you did a little while with the white glow. Crazy. I've never seen white glow in the dark before. Unreal, bro.
Yeah, I'm really proud of Memento Mori, Shell
Yeah.
Shock. And sorry. Yeah, I have some more skeleton that
Sick.
are not Memento Mori.
Oh, way
I
cool.
guess I could show y'all that now. Um, have a first reveal
World
on.
first exclusive,
Yeah,
folks.
exclusive.
For our audio medium, this is not going to go well. Look at that. Oh my God. It's like Bowser's Castle. This is so good. Yeah, this goes crazy.
And that's not the only one that I have coming up. Or- Y'all know my love for Ghost Rider.
Oh,
Hell
hell
yeah,
yeah.
bro. Hell yeah. Look at all those spikes. Dude, that's nutty as hell. So are these going
And
to be with you at Assembly Required next month?
yeah,
Nice, man.
everything I'm making, I was really trying to get a sale out before Assembly Required, but the sickness and the lack of time, just
Hmm.
I'm just focusing on stuff for
Oh, you should. You know, and I think it's going to be a good in-person event this year. Like, I think you'll get really good turnout for that. Plus, if you got all the inventory, like, you're going to kill it.
Yeah.
I hope so. Yeah, it seems that a lot of people are going to be there, and I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully the weather still stays nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's this is the thing that's gonna be I've been making the most of.
Okay.
It's crazy how the Masters Universe trailer just dropped.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and
Do you have a gray skull colorway?
can't really
Oh,
tell with this, but
yeah.
let me see. I don't know if
Oh,
those give off a certain vibe, but
Wait, sick.
is there an evil villain?
yeah, a
Yeah.
certain Cackling evil villain.
Yeah. How
And then I
convenient.
have I have a purple shell
Oh, right on.
Nice.
with a glow.
Oh, let's go.
So,
Let's go.
So
um,
is that torso completely resculpted from like the earlier versions of Shell Shock with the gun mounts and stuff, or
So
how many
something
pieces?
I wanted to do with shell shock was make sure that because the shell is such
Mm,
a thick piece
yeah.
and it is the one piece that takes the most amount of material,
Hmm.
that I could reuse it. So just like with the Memento Mori one, everything is sort of added on to the shell, to
Okay.
the sort of tank turret shell. So this is actually five, I don't know if this is even focusing, but five pieces,
Holy
Okay.
shit.
seven pieces. So the front of the castle
Hmm.
pops off
Oh man,
like a little
that's so
door,
sick.
and this piece, whole piece right here, that pops off.
That's
Wicked.
that's cool.
Um, both towers pop off. So this tower plugs into where the little beaver sits.
Yep.
Yep.
So that comes off.
Oh, whoa. So like all the cockpit that's was sort of cut into the original shell is still there. It's
Yep,
just add-on armor pieces.
everything's add-on.
That's sick as hell.
Yeah, I'm really proud of it.
No,
I
that's
think
some
the only
serious
person
engineering,
I've showed was Jesse, and he was stoked about it.
Yeah,
So
that's sick.
as he should
So
be.
are those going to come with a little night crew or anything, or is it just the castle?
that's something that Jesse mentioned as well. It's something that I would like to explore in the future, but
Yeah, yeah, of course.
it
I'm
took
gonna be
me
honest.
all of December to really refine. So I got to a point I was like, okay, I just need to go ahead and just call it good for right now. So
Well,
minifigures might come later.
yeah, well, it's good to know when to throw the talent on it and be like, you know what, this is a good spot to just get it out there. Sometimes, and I struggle with this is refining the idea to death,
Yeah.
and then then you get burned out and it's like, I don't even want to do it now. So, no, it's good to know when to pull the pin on stuff. I love it. The castle's really sick, man. It looks good.
Thank you. I really think it looks best with a wash like this. I don't
Yeah,
even know if that's coming across on camera.
yeah, yeah, it
Yeah,
shows
Um,
definitely.
up.
but
Yeah,
it
that looks
really
great, man.
brings out the stone work I did in that
A-
and everything. So
So,
Absolutely.
what kind of
yeah.
paints do you usually use? I'm actually just pulling all your stuff off the shelf. Like, I'm really impressed with how clean you get, the applications of the areas. You have a nice mix of both like matte stuff that you use and then sort of glossier. You do, really nice washes to kind of highlight sculpted detail. Like, what are you working with as far as
So
paints?
something I just started doing, and I don't know why it took me so long, was buying cheap paint.
Oh, hell
So
yeah.
this is just
Apple Barrel Gang. Shout out to
yeah,
Apple
this is
Barrel.
just straight from Walmart. And this is for my washes because I was wasting a lot of my expensive Vallejo and
Yep.
everything on
Mhm.
washes. So like for the Skeletor homage, I got this purple and I've just been
Yep.
wailing it on these pieces. But other than that, I'm a big fan of the newer my painting table's right here.
Oh, you're good.
Um the newer formulas of Vallejo game color.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
The older stuff is shitty. Uh, and I'm still, you can ask my family, you can ask other people I've talked to about painting. It's one of my least favorite things to do if I'm doing a run. If
Hmm.
I'm doing
Yep.
something for myself, I will love painting it, but I'm always concerned about paint rub or I did this whole run of Lucky Cats back in 2023, 24, 24. That I spent a lot of time on painting, hand painting, and I kept them in bags maybe. I don't know if it was the bags, lack of oxygen, or
Hmm.
what, but I pulled them out of the bags and they were tacky.
Oh
Like,
no.
Oh,
and I just, it was to a point where it like was beyond fixing.
Hmm.
So and there's been other times where I've spent time painting like heads and everything, and then just have it just rub straight off, like even after I've clear coated it. So it's not a favorite thing of mine to do. That's why I've been sticking to a lot of washes, just because
Mhm.
I know, if you keep them out, if you don't seal them up, they'll last, Um, but yeah, it's like it's something. It takes a lot of time, and I feel like when I do have heavily painted pieces, I need to be charging more. But
Yeah.
I know how the economy is, and not everybody has a lot of disposable income. So it's something I try to avoid nowadays if I can. That's why I have so many parts
Yeah.
for my characters now. It's because I'd rather honestly cast them in a specific color than
Mhm.
paint them if I can. That's
Yeah.
something I want to do with the next Anchor Fist, is just like most of everything on his body will be a separate part that I can just cast in a certain color.
Like I feel
But
like
yeah, that
you're
that Anchor Fist you have is very special because that was the most amount of painting that I used to do on figures, and I'm glad to see it still is holding up.
I mean it's cool to compare like this Grimhorn that you did as custom piece is a great example of how much color separation you're just doing through the casting because like
Mhm. The
even
only thing painted on that is his face. Yeah.
yeah, so like the helmet horns are separate pieces that plug in. Um, is the beard like is that did you glue that on? How did that?
Nope. Nope. That's painted.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just the details on the head, but like
Hmm.
the bright pink and then black armor are all different casts. And then like these shoulder pieces are pegged into like
Hmm.
the shoulder, right?
Yep. Is something. I don't know if y'all are familiar with General Porpoise. He's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Very, very talented caster. I think we've learned a lot from each other. But he's the same way. You can
Hmm.
see some of his older figures that he hand painted, and they are phenomenal. But you talk to him, and he's just like me. He's like, I hate painting,
Yeah.
because it's such a headache when you feel like you've done everything as far as prep. You've given it, you let it soak in hot water, hot soapy water.
Hmm.
You give it a rub down with alcohol. You do all this prep work and you prime it and you paint it and then you seal it and it still comes off, and that is the ultimate, like, just pissing off.
Yep.
All right.
So yeah, it's something I try to avoid nowadays if I can.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
So you've had all these characters. You've had a lot of exploration. And I go back, I don't know if it's last year, it might have been the year before, you sat down with Jesse on a live stream of Toy Pizza about talking production, and you were basically the sacrificial lamb for cost analysis for all of us, which I appreciate and I still
Yeah.
reference. So what is production looking like for you now? Is it something you still want to get into, or maybe looking into vinyl with the
You
US
watch the
domestication
live.
stuff?
There's no hope. No, part of me feels welcome from Matt. Matt, every time I see Matt,
Oh,
he's
he's the
like, just let
best.
me know. He's like, I got you. And that
Hmm.
makes me feel very warm. But anytime I listen to Jesse's podcast,
Yeah. Yeah, you have
that's
the
a wrap on that idea. No, I'm just
yeah.
kidding. It's something Shell Shock was made sort of in that idea of maybe this could be um, manufactured in PVC. It's
Hmm.
something I'd still like to do. I just need to have the right conversations and be in the right headspace for it.
Right.
Um,
And
uh,
would PVC be like your preferred medium? Would you be interested in doing soft vinyl at all, or
Because like
I
Anchorfist, Grimhorn, Captain Kill Devil, like all these guys would go crazy in
I could
vinyl, and
even
like
do a
it.
vinyl dinghy?
Oh,
vinyl
dude,
dinghy
it'd
would
go
go
crazy. It would go crazy.
hard. I I've seen a lot of people I'm part of the Glios Discord, even though I never check it.
Heard.
But
Same. Heard.
I saw somebody posted, maybe it was Apache, posted he got some shell shocks from me, and I saw people saying, this is great, but I want it in PVC, and I get
Yeah.
the people that haven't really handled my stuff. I mean, like Wolfman, Jeff, he didn't buy my stuff, understandably so, because it's resin, and he's got a young dude, he's got a little kid. And I think it was at 5 points. I told him, I was like, have you like, held this? Have you picked it up and everything? It's like sort of like flexible, it doesn't break
It's
easily.
it's not
And
resin like when Killer was doing it.
Yeah, I
It's a
yeah,
different, or
mean,
like
exactly.
Sucklord. It's
you're
a
doing
different world.
full Glios compatibility,
Yeah.
and like, so what is the actual resin that you're using that has this sort of semi-flex?
It's smooth on smooth cast 61D.
And is the 61D piece, is that indicating like the how rigid it is?
Yeah, it's the shore hardness
Okay.
of it. Yeah, I started out using the 60D, which usually the higher the number you go is the harder.
Okay.
But the 60D is harder than the 61, and I think that has to do with heat factor
Okay.
because the 60D cures in 30 minutes, whereas the 61D that I use now cures in an hour. And I switched to the 61 because I don't know if y'all know what pot life is.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not
well, no, it's a little different. Like we used to do it a lot of pressure pot casting. We were doing dentures back in the day, and we do acrylic
Gotcha.
work. It's like the same concept, but yeah.
So
But for those of us that don't know, explain for the rest of our
yeah,
audience.
pot life is like from the time you mix the two parts of the resin together, you have to get it in the mold before it starts gelling, as we say.
Mhm.
Um, and when it starts gelling, you have less time for bubbles to rise. You have less time for the resin to actually go out of the vents, the air vents, and everything. So the problem I was running into with the 60D was that even though I liked the convenience of just basically pouring the resin and then turning around and being able to take it out of the pot and be ready, I was getting a lot of miscasts because either you had to mix it up really quickly and pour it, or uh, you know, you're going to get miscast. So I switched to the 61D, which has a like 5 or 6 minute pot life. So that means I have time to mix up the resin, make sure it's thoroughly mixed up, so there's no, uncured veins in it. And actually, because I have so many molds, tiny molds for parts, I have time to go around and make sure that all the resin gets in there. So that's why I switched to the 61D, and I've been using that since 2020, mid 2022, I think,
Oh,
because
nice.
I started using it before I went to New York, and I was really
Okay.
stoked about that because
Okay.
I was using some shit from there's this company called SRC, and they have some semi-rigid stuff that was very, very durable, but it just was. I thought it was a me problem. You
Mhm.
know, you say you blame the artist, don't blame the materials. I'm blaming the materials on certain things because it was. Ugh. I'm glad I found 61D, in other words, and it's been a mainstay since I found it. And I've turned a bunch of other artists onto it. And there used to be a thing in the bootlegging and casting scene of sort of gatekeeping what you use and your techniques and everything. But once Craftsman hit the scene and just sort of blew it all out
Yeah.
there for everybody,
Mhm.
there was no more gatekeeping. So anybody who ever asks me is like, what material you use? I tell them exactly. I'm like, I use this silicone, I use this resin, I use yeah. So that's what I use.
Right
No, that's
on.
awesome. And like that's what I hope everybody involved in like the DIY toy making scene should do is like everybody should be making their own weird shit because like we all have slightly different takes or interests. So, you know, uh something that I'm going to make is always going to be different from what, you make Grant or Brett makes just by nature of who I am. So like give us all the same materials, we're all going to come up with different results.
Totally. Yeah. Yep. But yeah, it's been a journey. I think I was telling somebody on the Discord that was they had some casting questions that I was trying to help out with that I had been doing this for close to 7 years now, and it does not feel like it's been that long. I look back and I'm like, I've only been doing this for a few years, but no, it's been close to that time, and it's really flown by. But it's a lot of fun. I wish it was a little bit more profitable than it is.
Right.
Um, but yeah, it's a great community, as y'all know. And yeah, I plan on doing it more, as y'all know.
Yeah, great.
But
No,
yeah,
we
as far as production, whether PVC or vinyl, I just really want to be officially part of the Gladys family in
Yeah.
whatever capacity, And whenever I say that to Matt, Matt's like, "You're already part of the Gladys family," and I was like, "Officially."
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
but yeah,
well,
I love vinyl stuff. It's something I've just now in the past few years started getting into
mhm,
between Craftsman's character and some stuff I've picked up from other homies of mine that have gotten their stuff done in like Mile High. And
mhm.
yeah, it's I feel like I need more time to think about vinyl more than more than
Well,
PVC, but
well, I'll tell you, the vinyl's got a much smaller barrier to entry for price.
Right.
Much less. So,
yeah,
and here's the other thing is too, in my experience, I don't think you're going to run into order minimums like you would with the factory if you're in PVC production. Now, your mileage may vary with, whoever you're working with, but it's I think it'd be a good avenue, and it could be a way to help supplement some of that funding to get into PVC production, But
Mhm.
that's just my experience. We're still working through our vinyl startup right now, so
very exciting.
I I mean technically, Grant, like this, you had a hand in this vinyl,
yeah.
this
What am
piece
I
that
talking about?
just
You're already doing vinyl. What do you
yeah,
mean?
yeah. Here it is. And like I feel like an advantage for you that's actually was what made it interesting to me is like we can do our own sculpting, which, jumps you way like further in the production process rather than like having to do a napkin sketch that you hand off to
Mhm.
somebody who's going to do it in clay and then somebody else has got to cast that into
Yeah,
wax and then the mold is made like you know my character I already had the digital sculpt and could just like this is a 3D print so I know what it's going to feel like in hand.
yeah,
The only difference is sort of the surface finish um, that it's going to be. And so I'm excited for the possibility that's opening up again, thanks to the craftsman with his videos of like all these little small US based like vinyl makers, hopefully going to be popping up,
yeah.
whether they're just making their own things or, like Mosquito Toy Works helping other people out, like Clutter.
Hmm.
I think it's a cool avenue to kind of take it that one step up from doing it in your garage.
Yeah, totally. It's been a good motivating factor, sort of. It's breathing new excitement into the scene that, in my opinion, now that people are sort of doing their own vinyl.
Mhm.
I've spoken more. I've had more interaction with the Clutter crew,
Mhm.
and I'd love to work with them. And I've seen Mosquito's stuff. I met him at 5 Points this year, or Toy Pizza Expo slash 5 Points.
Yeah.
And I saw his work firsthand, and I was like, and he's making that in his garage. I think that's sick.
Yeah.
It's something that I've thought about. I was like, well, maybe that's something I could do, in my parents' garage or something. But then I was like, I have taken my time to. I wouldn't call myself a master of resin, but to at least get to a point where I'm comfortable with my skills and
Hmm.
my material. And I just feel like I'd be doing something all over again.
Right.
Yeah,
And I
you don't
don't
need to
have,
learn how to electroplate.
yeah,
No, it's well, and the thing is, like I said, the barrier to entry is so small, and to get your stuff digitized, if you want that, to get it over easier, it's much quicker to do now than it was even 5 years ago. So, and I mean, the other thing is too, when the mold gets made, you make your wax copy or your PVC copy or whatever, get it shipped over. It's not a big deal. But yeah, TLDR, I really want an anchor fist Safubi. So, whenever you want to do that, you let me know.
I have a concept that I want to do in resin first.
Okay.
That I might like to do in vinyl. That's all I'll say. Related to Anchor Fist.
Sick.
It's in the aesthetic of something I've done recently.
All right,
And
on.
I think it would mesh very well.
Well, I was
But
just
Yeah, man.
actually going to mention that recent piece. So I was thinking of that like Madball style cat that you did,
Oh, yeah,
um,
that was sick.
because of the mass of that object. So is that hollow on the inside, or how did you?
that is all
Oh
solid
my God.
resin.
Holy shit, that's a
Yes.
beefy
Scott.
boy.
I think the copy I have is in a different room, but
Mhm.
yeah, that is
Sick.
all solid. All resin. Jesse sent me some of the discs, leftover discs. He had. I thought I had them with me.
Mhm.
Um, actually, I have some casts right here. So yeah,
Oh, right
those
on.
those discs are originally toy pizza discs.
Nice.
So
A,
yeah, it was
a
my first
bootlegger
time.
dream.
Yeah, it was my first time doing disc articulation, and I really like how it all came together. Proportions in certain areas are like not, mirror accurate, but that's what you get when you're doing it all by hand. A lot of the original sculpt was sculpted on these wooden balls.
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, there's more I'd like to do, and of course I didn't grow up with Mad Balls. That was way before my time. But again,
Same.
YouTube got me into the aesthetic and everything, and specifically the head poppers. I really just like how they look, and
Hmm.
would love to do more in that sort of realm. But
No,
yeah.
it's a great aesthetic to like really do those fine detail works that like I feel like is a signature of all your sculpts is like adding the little pieces like on your dinghy, having the bits of seaweed
Oh yeah.
or like the barnacles, or even having where is it like the starfish on
Yeah.
Anchorfist's head. You
And
Or
love
like
that is all
I love the octopus on his tank, that add-on you did. Like that's so good.
oh yeah.
that is all due to playmates and people like James Groman and
Yeah.
all the greats. Because again, I didn't grow up with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but when I got into the sort of vintage toy realm, um, and when I realized that people did this by hand back in the day, obviously, like wax sculpts and everything, I just was like, oh my God. And one of my favorites, it's right here. Like, you
Oh
can't get better
yeah.
than that as far as like sculpting and
It's so
just
nutty.
minimal, just tiny little details and
Yep.
everything. It is, and I mean, most of them aren't even painted, but you can still see them in the sculpt, and you know
Yeah.
exactly what it is. I picked this up like a few years ago, and I mean, I already knew the character and I knew what went into it, but to me, this is such an inspiration to look at. Like somebody did that by hand,
Hmm.
and I try to get those same vibes when I can. I know it'll never be to this extent,
Oh,
but
don't
I
say that
love.
now. Your sculpting is very gifted, man. It's
You're
serious.
a
It's
young
no
dude.
joke. Yeah.
I just love the little almost unnecessary details and stuff like that.
Totally.
But yeah, I just found
Oh, nice.
the
For so.
originals of the Mad Balls cat.
Yeah. I always love your fur effect. It's always so good.
And this
Excellent.
this was really fun because this was one of the first times I was looking at a vintage toy. Well, I don't have it, but I was looking at a picture of it,
Hmm.
and I was trying to get vibes of it,
Hmm.
and somebody would look at it and be like, "Oh, well, that's wolf breath from Mad Balls." But I was also trying to do a little bit of my own thing with it.
Hmm.
Like I made the ears more pronounced, so he looked a little bit more wolf-like and everything. But
Yeah.
yeah, this was the most fun I had sculpting in a while. And got a spiked baseball bat, and everything like
So
that.
good.
And so is that all milliput or what's the material that you're doing your original sculpts in?
That is the A's epoxy sculpt.
Okay, and so that's a
And
two-part thing?
yep, it's I started out the original Anchor Fist, original Glyos Anchor Fist was milliput.
Okay.
Um and I started out my little Keshi minis with super Sculpey Firm.
Hmm.
Anybody who gets started in traditional sculpting, I recommend getting that and trying that out because it holds detail nicely. You can bake it when you want to. It's not like you have a time where you have to, rush to get sculpt in there before it starts hardening. But yeah, Aves is what I've been using. That's my main thing I've been using for a few years now.
Now,
It's
did Matt Doughty turn you on to that? I know he's a big Aves guy.
uh I think it was seeing Aaron Papa's pictures
Oh,
that he
Oh,
did
yeah.
for
yeah. Yeah, the god
Another
himself.
god
That
of
makes
sculpting,
sense.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And just looking at his pictures and seeing sort of what he did to just a classic Knight body to make it a whole new character. That was a big inspiration for what I did with my figures in that scale, whether it be Grimhorn or Captain Killdevil or whatever is, a lot of those are on either Mega Merge or Knights of the
Mhm.
Slide Space bodies. And I think that's where most of the inspiration to switch um, was Erwin Papa, his work because Milliput's great, but to me it doesn't hold as much detail. This entirely my opinion, but it doesn't hold as much detail as Aves does.
Okay.
But yeah, it's great. I just use sculpting tools from Amazon or Hobby Lobby or whatever, and um, that's basically it though, as far as my materials and a lot of time
And so
and
do
a
you
lot of
work in like successive layers where like you'll like say for something like the armor on Grimhorn, would you lay like all the plates over and then go in and let it harden a bit and then cut in the details?
yeah. Another thing I use is green stuff. So
Okay.
like parts that I know will have to be flexible.
Mhm.
I don't use as much anymore because sort of like with Milliput green stuff. I don't know if it's the particular green stuff that I have, but it seems to cure really quickly, and I just really don't have the time to sort of spin. And it's a bit of a different texture
Mhm.
than Abe's is. It's more almost gummy.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um, so when you're trying to do certain details that you're used to doing in Abe's, it doesn't necessarily translate as much the same way in green stuff.
Mhm.
So like for Grimhorn's like skirt piece, most of that was done in green stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, as far as the detail, yeah, I usually get the shaping down of it first. So I'll
Mhm.
put a layer down and get the shapes right. And I'll usually wait, a few minutes or whatever for it to stiffen up a little bit, and then I'll go in and do the finer detail. It's the same thing with Aves is just putting down the basic shapes and sometimes I'm not happy with the sculpt and I'll just grind it down and do something different.
Mhm.
Like the shingles on the roofs here, that took me a bit to get happy with. So there was I think twice that I ground it down and just
Mhm.
restarted. And that's part of the game, you know. I'd rather take the time to grind something off I spent time on
Mhm.
than put something out there I'm not like 100% happy with, which I've done in the past and I've regretted.
Mhm.
So I try not to do that anymore. But yeah, it's Aves. See, this is like a mixture right here. This
Oh,
is
very cool.
Cicada
Oh, hell
Man.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
his helmet was done in green stuff and his body was done in Aves. So
Man, I
yeah,
love that sculpt so much. That torso is so strong, dude.
thanks.
It's like it's the best bioorganic armor I've seen.
That was actually done for, I don't know if y'all remember me posting this, but that was done for Grimhorn. And
Yeah.
I just didn't think it fit the vibe. But I thought it still was pretty good. So
No, I
I
loved it.
saved
I'm
it.
glad you kept it. That's awesome. It's
Yeah.
awesome you got a whole second figure out of it, you know.
Yeah. I actually have a lot of pieces that I've sculpted that have not seen the light of day.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, we got
Yeah,
something to look forward to then.
Yeah.
but well, I don't know. It's sometimes I just want to sculpt something that I think is great, would be a great idea, and then I just don't end up going forward with it. And
Yeah.
I have not been doing that as much lately because I'm like I have to preserve my time. I have to, really manage my time right, nowadays,
Mhm.
um, to really get the most out of the time I have to work and sculpt things. But yeah, I take forever to do anything. So
Well, you're
yeah,
working in a slower sort of tool set, but then also I feel like that slows down your eye and like it makes you pay attention to the detail and like, you know, I feel like a thing that we always hear Jesse talk about is like, slight asymmetry
oh yeah.
and sort of organic shapes. And like you're a master of that. And I feel like uh that's both you've been in the game as long as you've had, but then also the materials you're working with sort of nicely meet that way that you work.
And that's something I love about doing traditional stuff. I mean, it has its drawbacks. Like, there's uh, it's times where I want to do more mechanical stuff, and I
Mhm.
know there are sculptors out there that you won't notice the difference if it's even digitally sculpted or traditionally. But I haven't reached that point where I am comfortable like doing really mechanical sort of um, geometrical designs.
Mhm.
And that at that point it's like I feel like I need to take up 3D sculpting. It's even something Matt says would be a good thing to have in my toolbox. And I
Yeah.
totally agree. It's just sort of the same thing with the vinyl is I feel like I've finally gotten used to doing something now, and I just feel
Hmm.
like that's just a whole nother thing to.
Well, I do know these two guys with a podcast who both
Oh
do
yeah,
digital sculpting, so
Yeah.
I could put you in
Yeah.
touch with them.
Yeah. One's really good, the other one's pretty lizard brain. So, and you can pick who that is. I'm not going to
Right.
tell you.
There's no way of
but
knowing.
yeah, that's one of my favorite things, and not just with my own stuff is you know when I do pick up a vintage figure, just how asymmetrical it is,
Mhm.
and some people could chalk that up to laziness. I think it's cool. It's
Well,
like
no,
I was
it's
saying,
so organic. There's so much flavor there,
Mhm.
yeah, like I
right?
was saying, with the torso I did, I spent a lot of times trying to line up his legs and everything.
Mhm.
But only you could notice like in a very slightly one peg is lower than the other one, but I
Mhm.
still managed to get him to stand pretty flush with the ground or the flat surface. So it is what it is.
Mhm.
But yeah, asymmetry is something I always and Jesse is a big factor of that. But I've always had a appreciation for it. I think it gives a lot of interest to anything. I mean,
Mhm.
human bodies, even though it may not look like it, they're asymmetrical.
Right.
Yeah. So.
But you have done some digital work with like your header card illustrations you're doing on your iPad, right?
Yeah,
And so,
that's all Procreate. That's all Procreate. But as far as like digital sculpting, that is a whole another ball game to me.
Yeah,
I
no,
would say,
you gotta get
I
on Nomad. You gotta become the
yeah, I
Padawan
mean,
to Kenneth.
I would say though, like with stuff like Nomad, uh, I actually, believe it or not, like started out doing traditional sculpting with Sculpey and stuff. And a lot of what I'm doing in Blender now is basically doing what I used to do in Sculpey a little bit weirder with like a mouse and like some shortcut keys. And the iPad is even better because then you're actually using an actual stylus and it's more like, you have the ball of clay in the workspace and are pushing it and pulling it.
Gotcha.
So, you know, especially
So
for,
Nomads is what's on iPad.
Yeah,
yeah,
and
I
and
it's only $20. There's no sub fee or anything. Like once you buy it, you have it. I
it's just
have
a
it.
flat.
I haven't messed with it enough to be proficient, but it's really great.
and
It's
like I
really
feel like
fantastic.
I
that's a big
researched it. I think it was last year. I was about to make the jump on it,
mm,
but I just had a lot of projects going on.
mm,
Um, but yeah, it's something I want to do. I'm afraid my iPad might be too old for it. I need to go through and really clean it out,
Yeah.
and free up
mm.
some space because we got that thing in like 2018,
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah, my
It does work on iPhone too, but you're at a much smaller, you know,
I'm an
Workspace.
Android
platform to work
boy.
on. Yeah. Yeah, you'll be in there with like the loops on, but no, it works well. I mean, my our iPad, it's okay, but it's not like the top of the line one or anything, and it doesn't chug along. I mean, it's very user friendly. It's not a high bandwidth software, so would recommend. Kenneth would be the man to talk to about that. He's the current Nomad wizard.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely.
But I would say like all the considerations that you have to think about when you're making a figure in resin of like how it's balanced, how the posture works from like side view, front view, back view, that's all true in, working with a digital sculpt. And so I'm mostly able to get like, eyeball when I'm sculpting on the computer, will this thing stand once it's printed? Largely because I'm like playing with shit that I have on my desk and saying like, well, what are the proportions on this? Where is like its center of mass? And so like it's not like you're throwing away all the work that you've been doing in like the process that you're used
Yeah,
to. It's just that
I think
translation.
my experience in sculpting, my over 5 years of experience in traditional sculpting will help me. It's
Oh,
just
for sure.
I barely work procreating. I feel like to its fullest extent. And I've
Which is
never been a
crazy because your header cards are so strong. They're so
Yeah.
good.
that's all just like base just procreate stuff. But yeah, I have friends that are so proficient in like making their own brushes and making it not look like it was made in Procreate. And
Mhm.
I feel like I haven't got to that point yet. Because I feel like I look at my stuff, and I know Jesse's talked about this before, but I look at some of the stuff I make or draw, and I'm like, that looks like it was made in Procreate. But I guess that's my own fault. What you eating there? Like a
My wife brought me an Oreo Blizzard.
oh
Oh,
hell yeah,
nice.
say that's a blizzard right there.
Yeah, you
I'm
saw that
down.
red straw peeking out of there.
Um, but yeah, it's something I want to do. Like I remember I had messaged Brett. It was probably mid last year, but I've been playing a lot of Cyberpunk, and I absolutely adore that game.
Mhm.
And one of the biggest things for me in that game are the motorcycles.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I I only pretty much drive around the motorcycles,
Mhm.
and there's this particular one that sort of gives off the Akira vibe,
Mhm.
and it's something that I wouldn't copy it, but I just want to do my own version of that and have a figure that actually,
Oh yeah.
would ride a motorcycle and I could do Ghost Rider stuff with it and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Um
is all lining up exactly with your
yeah,
aesthetic.
it's something that I thought I could do in styrene sheets and everything.
Mm.
Mhm.
But even styrene I haven't had enough experience in to feel like I have the enough confidence and know how to accurately make a motorcycle out of that. And then, I would have to do the wheels. I would definitely have to do the wheels and tires digitally. So it's
Yeah.
definitely something I've thought about and I need to do. I
I
just really
mean,
need to get in the headspace to do it.
yeah, I mean, talk about a project that's perfectly suited is a mechanical vehicle that,
Yeah.
it's going to be a pain in the butt, to cast something that big with the mass potentially. So like a 3D print would be great because it could be hollowed out. And then you're working to the strength of the software being mostly like mechanical shapes if you're making a vehicle versus, a dude with a bunch of starfishes stuck all over him. Um, so I'd love to see your take on a cyberpunk motorcycle. I think that'd
Yeah,
be
that'd be
super
sick, dude.
cool.
I mean, and I did do the tread sled for my little ice planet homage a year ago. So, I have a micro amount of experience doing a very simple tank tread style motorcycle, but it's fun. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, my problem is I feel like I'm too bougie with what I want, and I want to do it myself because I feel like I'm gonna be asking too much for somebody else to do it. But
I don't think so at all. I mean, especially if you're contracting it, you're paying for it. Might as well get what you want out of it, right?
yeah, it's something I need to do. But I feel like I always tell people, yeah, I'll do it when I'm in the right I got the right time, I got the right headspace. But that seems to never come along.
No, I'm going to tell you right now. Here's the best. This is my sage wisdom of the night. It's never going to happen. There's never a better time to do it than now. You just got to pull the pin and throw the grenade. You got to start now.
Man, I'm gonna go insane.
Yeah.
More insane. But
No, you'll be good. Well, to be fair, you have a lot on your plate right now. That's only required next month. So,
Right. So what are the actual dates for the show if people want to come and buy stuff from you in person? Which they should. Everybody watching this should go and buy
yeah,
things from
you
full
you.
put me on the
sellout.
spot, dude.
Get Grant breaded. Let's get this boy rich. Let's go.
I know Nobby Wood is from Asheville, so hopefully he shows up again.
Oh, hell
I felt
yeah.
I felt like a dick last year because the last time I saw him, he was wearing a mask, I think, and he came up to my table and he was talking to me like he knew me, and I was like, yeah, and I was like, who are you again? He was like, "I'm Nobby Wood." I was like, oh shit. And I already met him and I felt so bad, but yeah, he's always great to see. Um, but the dates, oh shit. I'd have to pull up my calendar. Whatever the first Saturday and Sunday in February is.
Here, we'll
I don't
we'll we'll look it up on Instagram right now.
yes, it's
Uh,
at Battery Park Hall in downtown Asheville. A beautiful place.
February
So
7th through 8th.
Asheville,
Set
North Carolina, February 7th and 8th.
yes.
Saturday 11 to 5 and Sunday 11 to 4.
And I will
Dude,
be tabling with my buddy Disgusting Justin. We've tabled many times together now.
Nice.
right on.
And a new artist that I'm tabling with is Brynwood Creations.
Very
He
cool.
is a fellow North Carolinian. He does a bunch of different stuff.
Does
He
he do
does
the cute
like
little animals with his giant eyes? Is that what I'm
yeah,
thinking of?
like he does like the walnut like characters.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
he did this awesome vehicle like it's almost like a tank chariot type thing,
Oh, hell
and
yeah.
he has like a skeleton barbarian character that rides in that, and yeah, his
Great.
work is really really cool. It'll be my first time meeting him in person. Apache and his wife, Brain
Yeah.
Basket, are going to be there. That's surprisingly my first time meeting them will be then, even though we live like an hour
Nice.
apart. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to meet a bunch of new people. Of course I'll see a bunch of guys I've known for quite a while. I don't know if I'll be getting a tattoo from Eddie this year, but we'll see. Um,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think it's time for Kill Devil's, gaze to be upon you. I think it's time. Yeah.
my sister's not with us this year because she's got a new job. So it's gonna be
Lame.
different. Yeah, she's usually like the curator of everywhere we're gonna go eat and
Yeah.
everything extracurricular activities that we do in Asheville. But yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I'm excited to debut. I haven't come up with a name for this new shell shock. I was gonna just call it Shell Shock Castle, but I was like, that's too basic, I was gonna say Ye Old Shell Shock, but I don't know if that works.
Well, it's a working
I need some
title.
suggestions.
Yeah,
Leave your
it's a working
suggestions in the
title.
comments.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll probably
yeah.
throw it out in the Discord shortly before I start getting the packaging together, or whatever's sort of poll, see what people put out there and everything. But yeah,
Sick.
I'm going to be making a lot more shell shocks. I have 9 of the castle ones made. You're asking about Gray Skull. Yes, I am
Oh,
making.
Yes.
perfect. Absolute
I haven't
cinema.
I
We'll
haven't
need a
put
Battle Cat
the
homage too.
I haven't put the wash on this one yet.
No,
But
that's
yeah,
that's that's a really good color match too. That looks
Yeah.
yeah,
awesome.
I was doing a reference to these
Yep.
little
Oh,
tiny
I
gray
love
skulls.
that line. It's so good. That line's so good, dude.
It's not one for one, but it's close enough. I know the original gray skulls were just like completely each one was like its own different thing. So
Look, and
I'm
they
not
got a
sweating
they got a
it.
full toy line coming out. Mattel's gonna be coming to you for IP infringement anyway.
Oh
Don't
yeah,
make it too close,
I'm gonna be getting a cease and desist soon.
Yeah, yeah.
But
When you do,
but
get that
yeah,
framed.
I got 9 of those ready to go so far. I got 6 of the Ghost Rider ones ready. Those spikes on his back are an absolute pain to cast. Um because of the vents, they had to be so skinny off the
Oh
top of
yeah.
the stomach. But yeah, and I got some more Memento Moris coming up. I have particular ones I want to do that I feel like it's a me project, but I feel like nobody will know what it's referencing.
Is
Um,
it a Cicada Man themed turtle? Because that'd be so sick. It's just the
I
butt
was
head.
thinking, so a lot of what I do besides like video games and comics and toys that already exist, a lot of what I do is inspired by music that I like and music videos. I love because it seems like not really a thing anymore, but music videos used to have such a distinct color palette.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
And one I wanted to do for Memento Mori was Decode by Paramore, that
Oh
music
great.
video. So it's like that sort of like Twilight teal sort of color, but with like Haley's like dark red hair
Oh
in that
yeah.
in that music video. That's like my favorite Paramore song ever. And that's like an homage I want to do. Like, will anybody buy that? Besides like
Well, I
any
mean
other
I don't.
email that comes up to the freaking table?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I mean that's like that was juggernaut when I was in high school. Like that all that stuff was inescapable. But like even I wouldn't have gotten that reference. But the color palette on its own is so good that the color theory
Yeah,
stands on its own,
Right.
right?
yeah. I do think even if people don't, and I ran into that a lot in Philly, because I had multiple homages, like Transformer homages, and I had people coming up and they loved it, and I was like, "Do you happen to know what this is like referencing?" They're like, "No." Like, you can still buy it though.
Yeah, that's the
Um,
best.
but but yeah, I have a lot more stuff planned. I it's not that I am getting tired of Shell Shock, obviously, but I feel like I've been
Well, I
relying
feel
on
like
him.
yeah, I mean, he's
To-
basically been your bread and butter since, 5 points last summer when we were all together.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but hey, he's a strong sculpt. Like I think if
Definitely.
there's a PVC production, that's my vote, right? Like
Yeah.
he's so good, man.
Put the word out there.
Yeah. Well, why don't you run a Kickstarter?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Look,
I
it's
look.
like
Here's the thing. Worst case scenario, you fail and there's no money in it.
true.
Yeah.
My family, we're definitely not from a rich background, but
No. Yeah, it's all right.
because I didn't take certain not economic, educational paths in my life that I felt like weren't for me. I've had my family offer to help me out with endeavors, and so I don't know. I don't, I don't know what I'll do. I need to do some more research. Even when I talked to Matt about it, and even Brandon from Man or Monster, he was like, just crowdfund it and everything. So I don't know.
Yeah. I
Any money over $1,000, I'm just like scares me because I'm like,
brother, I hear you.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, big money makes me nervous and
Yeah.
me a little bit of anxiety, so I'm always hesitant about that type of stuff.
Totally
Well,
fair.
yeah, I mean, we have Paleo Lords Kickstarter coming
Right.
very soon, and I think that's going to be a great litmus test to see because it's a very similar scale and design theory, similar to Shell Shock, and they play in that same universe. And I think if that does gangbusters, which I know it will, I think you have an opportunity to be like, hey, do you like this small thing? Well, you're going to love what I got, pal, because this one has a beaver.
And I talked to Dan a lot
Oh,
about
he's the
that
best.
in
Yeah.
in New York when we were hanging out there, and I don't know why, but that was my first time really getting to know him and
Mhm.
seeing his concept for the line, and my mind was blown. I was like, this
Oh,
is
it's unreal.
like
It's
the
so
coolest
fleshed
thing
out. It's
ever.
crazy.
Yeah, and even friends that I know that aren't in the Glyos scene were like asking me for like his prototypes and everything.
Yeah.
They were like, "What is this? Can you see if he's got any of this available?" So just seeing that reaction from people that aren't necessarily in the scene, I think that says a lot for what the line's going to be. I'm really
Yeah.
excited for him. Yeah,
But
but
with
yeah,
Shell
I
Shock
think as
being,
far as similarities, we got something going on there, and it will be a telling sign
yeah.
um how it does. So I'm looking forward to it and cheering him on and everything.
Oh yeah, man. So are we kind of count on seeing you this summer at Toy Pizza
Yes,
as
I
per usual? You want to be there?
absolutely.
Sick, man. I love to
Yeah.
hear it.
If you wouldn't see me, you would see my family.
Oh yeah, I'll be hanging out with them again. They were
Yeah,
with us all last summer.
they love it just as much as I do. We love Beacon now. I think every time we go, we enjoy it even more.
Yeah.
Got to see everybody. Yeah, I loved 5 Points. I feel like I was the only person that loved 5 Points sometimes. Um, I realized it was the best of both worlds for me,
Totally.
Oh, absolutely.
specifically because I had a lot of my artist friends that aren't in the Glio scene that were there,
Hmm.
and then I also had the Toy Pizza nights and the Glios folks and the Four Horsemen people, and I got to meet them and hang out with them and everything. But talking to other people and seeing other people's reactions, I was like, "Oh, this is probably not. This may not be coming back here again." So it was great for me, and I made sure to tell Miranda and Josh that. And I realize people can't uh, control the weather and everything,
Yeah.
but I would love to continue to support 5 Points. And I went to New York for the first time, like New York, the first
Mhm.
time last year,
Oh wow.
even though it was for a couple hours,
Mhm.
and I walked around by myself while my sister was at a museum, and it made me sort of realize, hey, this might be kind of doable for me because I don't like to think I'm one of those people from the South that are scared of big cities.
No.
I just don't like the unknown. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I got you.
Like I love the cities around here because that's where all the good stuff goes on. That's where all the best things are. So it's like the hesitancy wasn't coming from the fact that I was scared of diversity or big cities or
Oh,
anything.
no, of course not.
I feel more comfortable in those scenarios usually, but it's just like New York, it's just like bam.
Oh
And the
yeah.
fact that we were driving our own vehicle through Manhattan and everything from upper to lower, pretty much. We did end up getting like a $50 ticket, because my dad did an illegal U-turn. But you live and you learn. But yeah, just the fact that I was walking around by myself and just sort of it was very easy to traverse and
Mhm.
everything. I was like, this may be doable. Um, but yeah, I something I'd really like to do, and my buddy Justin is a big factor in this is decon.
Oh
Oh, that'd be
yeah.
I've not
very
been
cool.
anywhere west of Tennessee,
Oh
so.
man. Yeah, you would crush it, Decon, bro.
Yeah.
And I've heard from people out. A lot of customers of mine are actually from the West Coast. And I have a lot of buddies out in the West Coast, and I realize it's in Vegas now. Um,
Yeah.
but it's something I'd like to go to at least once to say I've been. And I don't know if this year's going to be a year for that. We'll have to see how assembly goes and
Mhm.
gauge that. But yeah, that's something I'd really like to do. I don't know if I'll be doing assembly required Philly again. It was a lot of fun last year.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I need to do like Legion's Con or do something else with that time and money, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, Legion's Con is something else I would really like to do. It would give me an opportunity to see more of the Gladys family more than once a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you
yeah,
should. We were talking about going this year, so because I've never been, so it'd be cool to see everybody in the fall.
Yeah.
it
You.
sounded like last year was a really really good time, and
Mhm.
even some YouTubers that I watch that I didn't even know were aware of like Four Horsemen or Goliath or whatever they went, and they were like, "This was so cool," you know. So yeah, it was definitely something I'd be interested in doing. It's just such a weird timing to have everything like in November, you know?
Mhm.
Hmm.
It's like not a cash money time to have that. Like usually November is like when
The crunch starts.
yeah, the
Yeah.
crunch and everything. And but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. So
No,
yeah,
and,
we'll
and
see
that's
how it
why it's
goes.
cool to like pick one or two new shows to do in a year and then see how it goes. And that doesn't necessarily tie you into having to do it annually. I think it's cool that you have like Assembly Required and Toy Pizza Con as these sort of linchpins in your year
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you kind of.
And I'm super thankful, even though like Asheville is like 5.5 hours west of us, that I do have a gathering of that magnitude
Mhm.
in my home state. I remember the first time I found out about it, I thought I was stoked, you know. You know, I'm kind of surprised that there's not one in like Georgia or I mean there technically is some people that have some toy shows in Georgia and everything sometimes, but
Isn't that where Joe Fest is in Augusta? Does that
I
sound
think
right?
I think sometimes yeah something like that. That's
But I
another thing
mean,
people told me I need to go to. I'm like nah.
I don't know, man. Like I love Joe's, but some of the community of the Joes, they're wild. Those are
Yeah,
some
they're
characters.
intense. They can be intense.
Yeah, they're real passionate about how shipwreck should look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm really thankful that I have the show in Asheville. And Asheville's such a I don't know if either of y'all have ever been to Asheville. I know Gordon, you were gonna come one
I
year
was
and
gonna
didn't go
go, but
through.
then like I got super sick last year, which
Yeah.
hopefully you should keep getting better. You should make it to the show because like I don't know, January is like right in the middle of cold and flu season. So
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like I feel like I've been sick since like New Year's Day, even though it's not been that long. I know it's been like at least 2 weeks, you know,
Oh,
and
you
I'm
poor
pissed
man.
off because I felt like I was getting better.
mhm.
And then just like yesterday, I'm like, oh, I have a sinus infection now.
Oh, you poor
Like
man.
one of the ones that like your teeth are hurting.
Oh,
That's
Uh,
Jesus.
that's what I have right now.
Get
And I'm just
get
like, it feels like it's been going on forever, and I'm so ready for it to be over. But yeah, it's not a great motivator when I'm feeling bad to start making stuff
mhm.
because I got to put on a respirator and like my nose is running in my fucking
Right.
respirator. It sucks, but you know, I also had to step back and be like, yo, people are going through much worse than I am right now. I need to
Mhm.
cast something and stop, you know, being a little wuss about it. But yeah, Asheville is such a fantastic place to have that sort of thing. It's I think the word still hasn't fully gotten out about a similar choir
Yeah.
because I feel like if the majority of Asheville would know more about it, they would be, you know, showing up a little bit more. But I think the word is getting out there more and more now. It's such a eclectic, artistic place, and you know, it had all that devastation
Mhm.
in 2024, and they just bounced back from that big time. Showed their resiliency, really nice, and Yeah, it's a blessing to have it in the state, and I'm looking forward to doing it as much as I can. And Asheville's very similar to Beacon in that way because Beacon is in the mountains, and I wasn't expecting that the first time I went to Beacon, and Beacon sort of feels very familiar to us. I mean, we've been there 5 times, close to 5 times, but it feels very familiar to us because it gives off those Asheville vibes,
Mhm.
and yeah, it's great, like you said, to have those sort of anchor shows that I go to. To know, yeah, I'm definitely going to this place and definitely going to this place. But it's exciting to have a couple more options for me
Totally.
elsewhere in places I haven't really explored. I wish, I know a lot of artists are wishing this. I wish that there would be another show like Decon in California like it used to be.
Hmm.
Like, don't get me wrong, I'd love to go to Vegas to say that I've been. I'm a Fallout fan as well.
Yeah.
I can, hang out there and do the
What?
touristy stuff.
Oh,
But
oh, you're
I'm
not
not.
planning on putting all your savings on black and gonna hit it big? That's how wild. You don't want to play roulette?
I'd be going around looking for bottle caps, dude. Um,
That's
but it's
the
like
drugs talking.
it's like Justin, discussing Justin. He's the same way. He's like he doesn't drink a lot. He doesn't gamble.
Hmm.
But it's still a good show to go to for the West Coast, and a lot of Japanese artists end up coming there as well.
Hmm.
So a lot of people I know already go there, so it'd be another opportunity for me to hang out with them, but also meet more people on the West Coast. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's just I'm not a frequent flyer. I've not that I'm scared of airplanes, but I've not flown ever in my life besides one private plane. Um, and it's something I'd like to do more and get more experience in. But yeah, I need to get out in more of my local like artistic
Yeah.
community because I'm just here in my room sculpting and casting. It feels like every freaking day of my life. No social interaction.
Hmm. Well, you get out to the museums and stuff, and like you also that is like the shows are the socialization piece too, and I feel like that kind of I don't know, it both re-energizes me whenever I go to a show and get to talk to other artists, makes me not be so in my own head about like whatever my own process is or projects are. And so it's always like a nice opportunity to reset. But yeah, also going out, and going to the coffee shop or like going to the local museum or library or whatever is nice places to pull inspiration, or even just going out around like I know you pulled like a lot of inspiration just from nature and stuff, right? Like going
Yeah.
outside for a
I
walk in the
think
woods.
this comes from my love of the coast that has been ingrained in me since I've been a wee lad.
Hmm.
And it's still there. I mean, um, any chance I get, I'm gonna go to Wilmington, North Carolina, which is to me the perfect coastal town, like city for me. Like that is the one place that I want to like really focus on ending up at
Hmm.
is because there's a big alternative community there, a lot of tattooers
Hmm.
there that are really talented artists in general. That's where I get a lot of my all my blockies I get from a comic book
Nice.
store called
Oh
Memory
yeah.
Lane. They've carried my stuff at their second location and they've been very
Oh
supportive.
man.
So
Is
yeah,
is is that
it's
adjacent to Outer Banks or is that part of that?
so Wilmington and the southern is part of the southern beaches. It's not
Okay.
right on the coast,
I
but
gotcha.
it is down south.
Okay.
So I don't know if you've heard of like Carolina Beach and
Yeah.
Curie and everything like that. That's adjacent to those southern
Okay.
beaches. It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Next
almost
time
near
next
the
time the family goes down, we'll have to check that out. Because
yeah.
we've been going down a lot in the summers.
I know you went to the Outer Banks recently.
Yeah, we
That
were we were in
that's
Corolla.
like Kerala. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
Kerala. Okay, you get it right. Just
I'm a
kidding.
tourist. I can talk like that. I'm a Yankee. I can say these things.
Did you see the horses?
Oh yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh
That
yeah.
people keep on hitting and killing because they're drunk. Anyway,
What
um,
took a
yeah,
turn?
yeah,
No, I
yeah.
didn't hear about this.
Those rare horses that are
Wild.
coming
They're
from,
like,
they're wild horses that
yeah,
have descended off of a Spanish shipwreck.
yeah.
People keep on hitting them with their cars. Yeah. Outer Banks is like the sort of like mid northern sort of type
Hmm.
beaches. But yeah, Wilmington. I love the Outer Banks, as you know.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
I sent you to Mama Kwan's and everything.
Oh, it's the
Um,
best.
there's just not, to me, there's not enough opportunity or nerdy stuff around there, or even
No,
artistic
that's
stuff.
well, that's like my gripe with it. It's all very much tourist attraction stuff, which
Yeah,
is
it's like
fine. Like it's good for like the I don't know what you call it, the civilian populace or like the
yeah,
muggle, but
yeah,
like for like the mouth breather like me, I'm like,
yeah.
where's
You're
all the geek
normies.
shit?
You're normies.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple good spots in there, and I mean, Sea Green is one of the only. I don't know if you ended up going there or
Oh
not.
yeah.
You
Yeah, it's a
did.
six spot. Yeah, it rules.
That's one of our favorite spots, but that is from my experience, and I haven't been all over the place there, but as far as creativity, that is like the the main spot for it there.
Yeah,
But as
that
far as
was certainly a standout. Most of it's mini golf.
yeah,
Which I mean,
as far
there
as
is something nice
women,
about the aging dinosaurs that are slowly dry rotting at the golf
yeah,
course, but
exactly.
yeah.
And the deteriorating aliens and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it does kind of feel like coastal fallout in a way, but
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. But yeah, it's Wilmington is always my preferred way to go is because to me you have the best of both worlds. You have the beaches, which unfortunately for us, are getting more and more popular by the year. So like Curie, they film a lot of movies down in Wilmington.
Oh,
Anyway,
bother.
Charlie Cox and Zoe Deschanel just filmed a well, they didn't just film, but they filmed a movie down in Wilmington and Curie Beach area, and it was
Oh,
very
that's wild.
interesting for. I mean, it was awesome for me being a fan of Daredevil to see Charlie Cox walking
Oh,
around in
yeah.
an area that I'm very familiar with,
Oh, yeah.
and be like, "Oh, there's the Curie Beach Pier behind them. There's our hotel we always stay at, and we know the people that run it." And even downtown Wilmington, which they filmed scenes that were supposed to be in Boston, they had like a
Mm.
whole snow machine, and I was like, we paused it, and we're like, that's Wilmington. So it's always
Yeah.
interesting, because there's a place down there called whatever Wilmington, and they have a bunch of props from movies and shows that were filmed in the area. So like One Tree Hill, you know that white girl show. They have some props from
First I've
that.
heard of it.
They have Under the Dome, something like that. They have a Swamp Thing stump from
Oh,
the
right on.
short-lived show that was filmed there. Night at the Museum, you know, Ninja Turtles. I think the second movie was filmed down
The
there
best
for
one.
the original Mario Brothers movie was filmed in
Oh,
Wilmington.
that's
Also
awesome.
the
So,
also the best
The
one. The
best. Yes.
superior film. You
so
gotta
yeah,
hear the DreamWorks soundtrack.
there's a lot of history, ancient and relatively newer history. Not
Excellent.
ancient, but you know what I mean. That's why I love the place so much. It's just very it it's best of both worlds as far as the beach and then also interesting places to go and hang out at and much more of a artistic community and nerdy community and stuff like that. So yeah, that's some place I definitely would love to end up at, and we'll see how it goes. You know, housing market is getting better.
Yeah. Yeah. This episode brought to you by the Carolina Board of Travel and Tourism.
Anyway, yeah, I feel like that was a big advertisement.
No,
But
it's
yeah,
good. No, we're
but yeah,
actually gonna
going
open
back
with
to
that when
that,
Gordon cuts it.
yeah, going back to that, yeah, yeah, a lot of nature and a lot of places I enjoy visiting has a lot to do with my my figures. So like on the Memento Mori shell shock, I put the little Spanish moss on the tree. Originally,
Hmm.
I just had it sort of just like a naked, like dead tree, but I
Hmm.
put the Spanish moss on there because that's like all over Wilmington, and there's a bunch of like old churches downtown that are just like covered in gnarled trees that have Spanish moss all over them, and it's like my favorite thing to see. You can ask my
Hmm.
family anytime I see Spanish moss, I'm like Spanish moss, spooky moss. So yeah, it's definitely my some of my favorite places are definitely inspirations for my work. And just like with Moss saying, I'm a big fan of Man Thing and Swamp Thing, and I wanted to do my own version of that, but that's also sort of inspired by the Everglades around here,
Hmm.
or in the coastal. Did I say Everglades? I meant marshlands, but anyway, yeah, those types of areas that are very swampy and stuff like that. So yeah, there's always inspiration to be had. Same thing
Yeah.
with Cicada Man. I merged my. I'm not a big tokusatsu like nerd, but I've always loved the suits because I'm like,
Yeah.
you
I mean,
know,
that's the
Yeah.
best part.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
The suits and the monsters, those are the best part. You don't need to
Yeah.
watch the show.
Yeah, yeah. Just the
Yeah.
suits are always so cool, and I'm a big fan of cicadas. And any summer, they're always out here in full force,
Mhm.
and I usually end up finding a few. And yeah, it inspired me to do my own character based on cicadas, and I still have more cicada adjacent stuff I want to do.
Hell
But
yeah.
yeah, same thing with snapping turtles. That one story I always tell people about my mom trying to pick up one and it popped a 180 on her. That
Oh
that
yeah.
cemented it in my head as a little child that these things are kind of badass. So,
Yeah.
I had to do a turtle, and I like turtles too. So
Yes.
Excellent.
I think like this is a pretty, I think we hit a lot of cool stuff. I know we already sort of had you plug stuff, but do you want to do another round of plugs, Grant, to sort of close things out? You got the show coming up, but where else can people find you and your stuff?
yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Cool Cat Toy Co. I usually try to give people advance notice of drops, but lately I've been doing it very last minute. I'm trying to get better at that. My URL to my website, my link to my website is always changing because it's weird. So whatever is in my Instagram bio for my site is what you should click on.
Cool. We'll post
I've
in the
had people
description
click on
too.
some old domains of mine and got viruses, so don't do that. Um, yeah, I'm going to be at Asheville in person. I got a bunch of stuff that I have to make for that, so I'm going to be busy. We're supposed to be getting snowed in this weekend, so hopefully that gives me time to really focus in on
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
But anyway, um, yeah, I should be definitely be at Toy Pizza Con or Expo or Experience, whatever
Toy
it
and
is, Toy
Pizza
Pizza
Conference.
Point
Conference.
Pizza
Toy and
Yeah.
Pizza
Conference.
Conference.
This year I'll be excited to see everybody, of course. And who knows, whatever else I might be at, I will definitely be posting about on my Instagram. So yeah, that's all I got right now. I have more shell shots, as y'all saw in the works. Um, I should have the
Oh, let's
updated
go.
Anchor Mini.
The Return of the King.
The return. He should be debuting in Asheville, and
Awesome.
if he does well, I should do like a small little drop of him on my store. But I have a project going on with somebody now, and I can't talk about it, but y'all might see that
Cool.
soon.
Sick.
But I think that's everything right now. Yeah, it's always good, always exciting, always exhausting.
Awesome. Thank you. And so, Brett, what do you got that we want to plug? Should we play the Toy Forge?
Yeah, man. www.goblintoyforge.com. Check the Instagram, same handle. You can find my other geek shit at Aegis_station on Instagram. Probably going to have a bunch of new stickers coming out. Art from Nobbywood and previous guest on the pod, Pepper. Did
Great.
some excellent Goblin Dagger artwork, so those will be coming out some sticker packs. Beyond that, nothing. Gordon, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Vladimir the Vadomir and here on YouTube with the DIY Toycast. So until next time, thanks everyone, and catch you later.
Peace.